The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Leadership Podcast. It is yet another edition of The Big Issue. And of course, I hope you had a very wonderful weekend. Without taking much of your time, because our in-house analysts are already seated to treat the big issue of today the way it is. Sunday, so Isaiah is fresh from leave. You could see how his face is now looking very bright. I wish I could take a leave too, like you. Well, my name is George Jagba, your regular host. And of course, the big issue of the day is the North Central Clamour for the 2023 presidency. And of course, the North Central zone has jumped into the arena of zones seeking for the presidency. Just yesterday, the Middle Belt Forum said rotation of the presidency must be between the North, South, and Middle Belt regions. Appease the people of the region. The Middle Belt Forum took the stand on Sunday at the end of the two-day National Executive Committee meeting held in Akwanga, Nasarawa State, between Thursday and Friday. And of course, in a communique issued by its president, Dr. Pogus Bitrus, the forum described as unfair the current arrangement between the North and the South. The North and the South that failed to recognize the Middle Belt Forum. Ahead of the 2023 presidential election, it has been so from that region, with people lobbying the All Progressive Congress and the People's Democratic Party for the presidency. Last week, another group from the North Central region, the North Central Renaissance Movement, also joined the fray of those asking for the presidency, insisting that their region has been marginalized in the scheme of things, despite being the host of Nigeria's capital city, Abuja. It said the region has been unable to occupy Aso Rock in the civilian regime. And of course, now one may ask that there had been clamor for the presidential ticket to the South, with the Southern governors, senators, and other political leaders insisting the South must produce the president in 2023, going by the rotational arrangement. How do we explain a situation where the North Central will not jump in and splitting the rotational arrangement, which ordinarily we knew that it's supposed to be, according to how they say it should be the South? After the South, it goes back to the North, and now the southern part of the country is saying it should go back after the North. How do you explain this kind of situation?
Well, every politician wants to grab power, and politicians will always sponsor narratives that will favor their ambition. So it is not strange that we are seeing a lot of stories that tilts towards supporting a particular zone. The North Central, or intending a candidate or aspirants from North Central zone, may decide to push narratives that are believable narratives that will make Nigerians feel, oh, really, this zone also deserves a shot at the presidency. But personally, I would rather prefer a change in system. The system of rotational presidency, although not constitutional, it has been an arrangement of political parties. But I'm not convinced that system has served Nigerians well in the last 20 years or 21 years since we returned to democratic rule. I stand to be corrected, but that system has not thrown up best leaders from whichever part of the country the political parties decide to zone their tickets to. Rather, I think personally, I think it has denied credible and competent Nigerians the opportunity to vie for positions based on the geopolitical zones they belong to. For instance, in 2015, uh, arguably President Muhammadu Buhari or the General Muhammadu Buhari, as it then was, uh, may not be the best candidate for aspirants among those vying for APC tickets. But because there is a narrative that the power must return to the north, and arguably people queued behind that narrative, and they believe President Muhammadu Buhari at the time had enough punching political punches to deal blows, and he dealt the blows on the PDP candidates. But I don't think that system has served Nigerians well enough, and there will always be. In fact, even if there are no internal arrangement of zoning within political parties, there will always be reasons for which politicians will adduce to canvass support. And I don't think this is different. It's not any different. So if you throw the contest open, the same issues will come up. And I mean, delegates, if the system, I mean, the electoral system is democratic enough, delegates from every part of Nigeria will decide on where they want their votes to go to. So I don't think, of course, North Central, Middle Belt, they are not the only zones that will lay claims that they have not occupied, that their people have not occupied the Aso Rock. Not the Northwest zone has occupied the position, but the Northeast zone, so from 1999 up to this time, they have not occupied the position. So they will also come and tell you that since the inception of the Fourth Republic Nigeria, the Northeast has not taken shots at presidency. The same thing with the Southeast. And if not for the political exigency or natural circumstance, I'm sure the South-South geopolitical zone by now, they will also be talking about having a chance. Because the political leaders didn't sit down and say, we are zoning the presidency to the South-South. So I think political parties should think beyond zoning arrangement and start throwing up the best candidates, that because these best aspirants or leaders within political parties, they come by chance in most cases. We don't always have them. So when there is a chance to propel a particular candidate to and deliver good governance to Nigerians, and we fail to do it at that time, the person may not have the chance again. I mean, age, health, and all that. So if you have a good candidate from wherever the person is, any part of the country, throw the candidate up and let issues concerning burning issues that affect the lives of Nigerians, let it be debated. Let's have their perspective. Remember, the presidential system we run technically places even the president over the party. So the moment the power is handed over to that individual, if the person is politically savvy enough, the person can even manipulate the party. And by the time the person is spending the first 4 years, you know that it is almost automatic that the person is gone. So 8 years in the life of a nation is too long to just hand down to somebody just because he's from a particular zone.
Well, B, from your what you've just said, it's like you don't even support the idea of zoning at all.
Oh, well,
Mm,
I think we should rethink the system. Zoning shouldn't be the major reason
well,
why we have a particular candidate.
it's over the idea of this North Central. You see, specifically, you see what the Middle Belt Forum say this thing. That the rotation should not be between the North, Middle Belt, and South. You see, the concern is that if this is accepted, then we'll have no choice than to go back to the normal arrangement where it was that zoning, the rotation should be among the six geopolitical zones. Because other zones will come and say they don't see any reason why you should. Because the idea of the north-south divide is that you have the southern part of the country and then the northern part of the country. So what do you make of the middle belt making the rotation to be among three? What is the guarantee?
Well, IDB was raising an issue that the Northeast have not had the presidency. And Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, he was a prime minister, it's like a president. Then if you look at the Southeast also, they have Chief Alex Benjamin equipment, you know, there on the saddle. So you wouldn't say that these people have not tested the presidency.
Yes, but before we go to that particular point, the question here is, should we agree that instead of the rotation to be among the south and the north, the middle belt should not be included? Middle belt is just a zone.
Exactly, because everybody want to be identified. Because if you say that you are zoning north versus south, what people think generally is that is Yoruba versus either Fulani or Hausa. You understand? And you know that in the north, we have a lot of tribes. And North Central, in particular, they have a different culture entirely. And their beliefs are different. So even in religion, the way they practice their religion is quite different with the way some people practice their own religion, because they don't see themselves as enemies. So they want an identity. And I think I support that, because if this country is about Nigeria, you know, if this country is about the people, then the people should be able to say that, okay, this is what we want. You won't just say
support them, and you, because they want an identity. But don't forget that the north-south dichotomy they cause, and when they say okay, rotation should be among the south and the north, we have 6 zones. Now we have 3 zones in the north and 3 in the south. We have, that is why those who actually made that framework felt that okay, it should be between north and south. Okay, when you go, you will not decide in the south whether it is the southwest or the southeast or the south side that will come. Then when it comes to the north, you think whether it's the northwest or the south, the northeast or the north central. Now middle belt joining as just one single zone to go and say they should be rotating it between. That is the point I'm making here. Does it make any sense?
You know, in either way that you look, in either way, if you look at the middle belt coming into this issue, in fact, the middle belt actually cut across different geopolitical zones. The middle belt, like Southern Kaduna, for example, they are part of middle belt, but in the zoning of regions, they are in northwest. Now, if you move to Taraba, Taraba is in the northeast, but they are still part of the middle belt. So they have their own map to, you know, contend with. But basically, if they say that they want the rotational presidency to be between north, south, and the middle belt, then it is understandable, because if you are writing, you must start with introduction, the body, and conclusion. You understand? If you are describing something, there must be the head, the center, you understand, and the down. So they want a recognition, and they believe that the region have suffered a lot of killings, a lot of displacement, and they believe that okay, since every region is also asking for the presidency, it will be fair for them to get that presidency to be able to develop not just the region, but to have that feel that the Federal Capital Territory is within our territory. So let us have a kind of a test of the presidency.
Well, before we continue, let's just quickly take a short break. Don't turn your dial, and of course, don't go offline. We'll be back shortly.
The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Welcome back. This is Leadership Podcast, and of course, the program here is the big issue. And the big issue is the call for rotational presidency by the middle belt, seeking that power should be rotated between the south, middle belt, and the north. Well, B, you heard what Isu was saying. That they have the North Central people want identity, and of course, they call that the presidency should come to that particular zone is a genuine call. But now they are now making the divide to the power rotation of power to three basic regions now. If it goes to the north, it should come to middle belt before they think of the south. What can you make of this?
Well, like I said earlier, I do not have any bias against an aspirant from any part of the country. It is within the constitutional rights of any eligible person from anywhere in Nigeria to vie for the position of the president. But just from what you saw said, I do not see how having a president from a particular geopolitical zone will automatically translate to development of that geopolitical zone. And that was why I said we should rather look at aspirants, eligible Nigerians who understand issues of governance and can tackle the issues facing Nigeria holistically. In fact, if we allow this argument about geopolitical zone, middle belt, south and north, we will still talk about micro zoning of presidency to individual families eventually. Because if it goes back to the south, somebody will say, okay, the last time it was from Osun State, and now it has to be from Ogun State, or it has to be from Delta State. So I think we should look at aspirants who, irrespective of the geopolitical zone it belongs to, it does not represent any.
Yes, I agree with you. And you now see, let's assume that yes, the middle belt or the north central is a zone, and actually it will require having a president. The southeast is also clamoring for the presidency. And of course, the Southeast say it has never held that office before. And if you look, most Nigerians are sympathetic to the Southeast zone. Now, coming to the North Central, what justification? What is that thing? Because Isua was mentioning names of people that have actually held that number one seat in the country. He mentioned the likes of Yakubu Gowon and who again did you mention Isua?
Abubakar Tafawa Balewa.
Tafawa Balewa and the rest.
Well, I thought our scope would be limited to the Fourth Republic of Nigeria, but now that he has extended it, and we're going to look at those who have led the country in different capacities. We should also remember that the long years of military regime, we had leaders from middle belt of Nigeria. They had the larger part of that leadership. President Ibrahim Babangida was head of state from 1983 to 1991, I think, 1991, 92.
And it's from the North Central.
And he's from the North Central. He was succeeded by Sani
Sani
Abacha,
Abacha.
and Abdul Salam took over from Sani Abacha and did another one. So
Salami is from
let's,
the North
let,
Central.
let's not start talking about who has done what from where. I think that, like I said, that system has not served Nigeria well. And it has created more division. It has not given Nigerians more choices. For instance, if a particular president, a serving president from a particular geopolitical zone, did not serve out the 8-year tenure expected to be the term of that zone, people of that zone would not even think about supporting the candidate from another geopolitical. I think that system has divided Nigerians more than what we should have. Nigerians should be more united and in supporting a candidate from wherever, once his ideas or what he preaches and represents appeals to the electorate and to the party.
See, easy.
So before you go, let me just tell you, you see what he has said. And of course, we've just listed to it. You started with Tafawa Balewa. We've just said Ibrahim Babangida, Abdul Salami Abubakar. These are people who have had that seat. Unlike the Southeast that will tell you that they have never had somebody there. Although they will tell them, some people are even telling them that we runs here in Nnamdi Azikiwe. But then let's look at this situation. Apart from all these people mentioned, the North Central has had produced 5 national chairmen of the ruling political party, all from PDP. Solomon La, Barnabas Kimade, Ahud Ogbe, Amodwali. What are they actually looking for?
You see,
What is
let me
their-
let me start from
What is the grounds?
let me start from the time that Adebi was mentioning military president. You know, military rule is an aberration of our constitution. You can't make use of military rule to state a point, because we know that once there is a military rule, they suspend the constitution. What these people are talking about is that they have never had a president in a civilian clothes. You understand? And you know, the arrangement of the military is not the arrangement of the masses. In fact, if you ask the people of the region, they were not asked before appointing their people to be military president, and their people were not even in support of that kind of dictatorship. So what I'm saying is that we must understand the angle these people are coming from. If we believe that every region have brilliant people to assume that position, then every person will not be a president at the same time. And to keep the country safe and to avoid spending excessive money during electioneering campaign, I think zoning it to the north central or a particular region will now allow the people from that area to bring out the best they have for the country. But if you say that you leave it open, it will be about who have the large pocket, and the political system will now be monetized. So you won't have sane people there. But if you narrow it to a region,
let me ask you a question. Even with the zoning arrangement, the political system has it not been monetized in the past?
No, but at least people have some sense of decency. People now believe that
I'd like to interrupt you.
Okay.
You see, I'm not aware, and you can convince Nigerians that if a position is zoned to a geopolitical zone, it is the people of that geopolitical zone that determine who takes the position from that zone. I think people have some Nigerians have even said that, see, the moment you zone a particular position, presidency for instance, to a particular geopolitical zone, then people from other zones will choose for us. For instance, in 1999, during the 1999 election, you can go into the statistics of the election. The Southwest, the people of the Southwestern Nigeria did not vote for President Olusegun Obasanjo. So are you telling me that we, the people of Southwest Nigeria, decided to dash or to appoint
Obasanjo was not appointed by the people of the Southwest.
No.
Obasanjo was the creation of the military who believed that they can trust him. They wanted a situation whereby they would be able to convince.
But that 8 years Obasanjo spent is believed to be the tenure of the Southwest. That is the point I'm making.
And you think Southwest did not have a better share during Obasanjo?
No, that is the point. So if you are talking about a better share, the people of North Central, they have a better share during the time of Babangida.
That's a military regime. We don't want it in this kind of
situation. Obasanjo was the creation of the military.
What B is trying to say.
You just said Obasanjo was the creation of the military.
Wait now, let me finish. Okay. See, whether it was the military, Obasanjo was a creation of the military. What B is trying to say in essence is that despite the fact that Obasanjo was from Southwest, his own people from the Southwest did not vote for him.
In 1999.
So what he's not trying to say is that the zoning arrangement itself does not amount.
That is why I am saying now, that zoning, it was not a zoning or a call by the people of the Southwest.
This
to say that we are
presenting it is a waste of time.
It was
if you
the cabal.
North Central.
You understand? It was the cabal that said that we want Obasanjo and we believe that he will be able to protect certain interests. Let me tell you, the Southwest, it was Olu.
Who is the cabal?
It was Olu Falaye. The Southwest actually wanted.
But
and you can see at that time, they zone all the political offices to the Southwest. If they can do that in 1999, what stopped them from answering the call of the people of the North Central that all political parties should also zone that position to the North Central and see the kind of candidates they will bring in?
The whole zoning issue amounts to a waste of time. If you zone the presidency to North Central Nigeria today, North Central will not produce only one candidate. It is still a candidate from that area supported by all Nigerians that will get the position. Yeah. So why not just throw this open, allow Nigerians to decide who this will unify Nigerians the more. At the end of the day, irrespective of the processes adopted, only one person can occupy the position of the presidency. So it makes Nigerians to work together the more to say if we can decide. Look at what happened in 1993 to 1993 election, of 93 elections. Nigerians were more united in the candidacy of a particular individual. Abela wasn't a Yoruba candidate. Nobody's on this. Abela contested election against Bashir Tofa, a man from Kano State. And even in Kano, Abela won election. That is the kind of unity we should be preaching.
Thank you very much, B. Wait, Isua. I want to understand something before any other thing else. Let's look at the American, the United States, where we copy our own system of government. Do they actually do this rotational presidency? Because at the end of the day, I can't imagine if America was doing it, then Obama would have had a very hard time to get being elected as a president.
It depends on situations. The American system,
because what we are talking is that when we talk of this, let's look at a country where we copy their own system of government.
Yeah, exactly.
Then at the end of the day, that country is among the category of developed countries. Nigeria was still a developing country.
Yes.
So now, this rotational president, what does it actually add to the development and the growth of the country? That is why I asked that question about the United States.
It's about ensuring unity. It's about ensuring that, okay, we also have a stake in our country. Now, bringing the United States example, there is no way you will have a country and there won't be certain interest. Now, Obama came in not because he was coming from a particular state, but he was coming from a classes of youth. And the people of America feel at that time that we needed somebody who is young to be able to
help. The people of Nigeria do not think we need somebody who represents that.
Let me finish.
Of the north and
Let
the south.
me finish. Let me finish. Now they feel that
they might key into this north central thing. Remember, a very young, vibrant governor like Yaya Bello is.
Let me finish.
Has the constitutional right to vie for any position except the governorship of Kogi State again in 2020.
I wanted to prove
if he wants to contest, he is a member of a political party. Let him push his narrative. It doesn't have to be the position. Doesn't have to be
not come under the cloak of the North Central Presidency.
Don't be surprised.
I wanted to push a point.
The
point I'm pushing is that in politics,
but that is not. We should change the narrative. Tell us something new. Tell us what you are going to do to unify Nigeria, to solve the problem of insecurity, to improve the economy and social facilities and social security. These are the things we want you to come and tell us. Don't tell us you are from a particular place. Because if you are delivering good governance to Nigerians, you are not going to deliver it to the zone you represent. You are going to deliver it to Nigerians. So I refuse to be persuaded with that argument that if we have somebody from Taraba, look at the insecurity happening in Taraba. We do not elect president to solve problems of insecurity or whatever problem in the geopolitical zone he or she belongs to. We elect president to solve whatever problem and improve the situation or the life of Nigerians in every part of Nigeria. So that person should appeal to every Nigeria wherever he or she lives.
On point. Mr. Wa, you've heard of B. What point were you trying to make?
No, because you raised what we don't understand is that in politics there is interest. Either interest of zoning, interest of candidate, interest of whatever. But if a country have its own national interest, wherever you are coming from, or wherever the people have agreed that this person should come from, he will protect that interest. You understand? Now, you will not tell me that people from a particular region will say, okay, we want this team. And they are coming with one voice to say that we want this. And you have the potentials there. People who can actually perform credibly well. What should you do? Than subjecting the polity to some kind of crisis and all that. I believe that if it is clear that we'll say, okay, let's zone this thing to North Central because they are demanding for it. Because we know that they have capable people that they will select, to help Nigeria. Why not? All this zoning arrangement, they are about unifying the people. They are about calming some kind of nerves. either we like it or not. Because if people are asking for identity, then you should identify with them if you want the progress of your country.
My worry now is that the Northeast should come out now, because I think the zone that has really benefited in this presidency thing is the Northwest.
Yes.
The Northwest. But the Northeast, I think there is a point they were clamoring for this presidency.
Yes, but they've had it before. That's what I said. The first prime minister was Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, and he is from the Northeast. So the clamour for the North Central is not far-fetched.
My perspective about this is that agitations will not stop. And like I said, these are narratives remotely sponsored by people who have interest in particular positions. So there is no time agitation for whatever position will stop. And let me also remind you that the zoning is an arrangement of political parties. It is not the arrangement of the Constitution of Nigeria or the entire people of Nigeria. And let me also remind you that in the APC, the ruling party, there has not been a president from the southern parts of the country. They've only had the president for that, by the grace of God, if God spare President Muhammadu Buhari's life, is going to spend 8 years. So the people within that political party, they are free to push any narrative that will support.
This calling is not a political party calling. It's not a political party.
But I'm telling
it's
you.
Both parties. That's why people are asking for both PDP and APC, including ABGA, to zone the ticket to the North Central.
This is what you also fail to understand. There are people that have been loyal to the All Progressive Congress from inception. And those people did not support the zoning of presidency by the PDP to the southern part of Nigeria. So those people also want identity, right? Those people also want the effort to be recognized. Isua, there is no way this agitation from every part of Nigeria will stop. In fact, if you allow people, they will say their members of their family should be the next president. What I'm telling you is that we can de-emphasize all these narratives and throw up better discussions in the polity. Let us discuss something new. Let us discuss something different. Zoning is what has landed us to where we are today.
No, you won't say that. Zoning have never landed us into where we are today.
Now,
because if people are asking for zoning, they will bring out a better candidate.
Let me buttress the point.
You know,
the moment you zone a position to a particular, the moment you zone it to a geopolitical zone, you have succeeded in limiting the options at that time. So what you have just done is to say between you and you. And before it comes back to another zone, there are leaders, born leaders, people who are prepared to take the mantle of leadership. But by the time it comes back to their zone, they may not have the opportunity again.
And there won't be any other person there.
No. I'm not saying there won't be, but everybody cannot be president. What if the person was the best aspirant
in Nigeria as we are now? You won't tell me that one individual.
That is why I'm saying
we have good candidates in every part of the country, and that is why if people,
so let people go and campaign. Let them go and convince the
if people are now saying that okay, zone this thing to us, they are ready to give out the best candidate for the country to choose.
I see.
Well. I think that is the much we can take for today's edition of the big issue. And of course, Via, you've seen what the rotational presidency thing has turned the big issue crew into, tearing them apart. You could see counter positions. And right from here in the studio, you could see them flying in the air like bullets. Anyway, we've actually done justice to this particular matter. And it is left for a viewer to actually do their own thinking too, whether rotational presidency is the in thing or not. Well, I would like to thank my very, very vibrant in-house analyst, BE, and Sunday Isua.
Thank you very much.
For a very wonderful time. And of course, I would like to thank you, our viewer out there, for actually having a wonderful time watching us here. I will say join us same time tomorrow for another edition of The Big Issue. For now, have a very nice evening. Thank you.